Okay, and now we have an authentic surprise. I'll bring up Jonathan Koomey and Chris Caldwell to present it to you.
Volt, ohm, joule, watt. We use these units every day in energy, but we forget that behind each one is a real person who taught the world something fundamental about how energy works. Back when I was a young graduate student, Art Rosenfeld taught me something fundamental too, and that was that energy efficiency could displace energy supply. In the early 1970s, this idea was a little controversial, but through Art's leadership, it soon became conventional wisdom. Art also taught me that it's best to refer to Alaska oil pipelines avoided or power plants saved because it conveys the idea that efficiency and supply are fungible, and it gives people a concrete picture of exactly what a proposed policy like efficiency standards might do. Following Art, other people in the field also started talking about avoided power plants, but what happened was that everyone used different assumptions about the size and operational characteristics of these plants, so much confusion was had by all. A few years ago, my friend Chris Caldwell, right here, came to me with a brilliant idea. Why not standardize on an avoided typical power plant? Chris knew that I had worked with Art and Ashok Gadgil on the economic subtleties of comparing energy efficiency to energy supply. He knew also that when I have a problem to solve, I'm really dogged in the pursuit of a solution. And he knew that Art was one of my mentors and one of my favorite people, so he came to the right guy. So this afternoon, we'd like to announce the results of that effort. The peer-reviewed journal Environmental Research Letters today published a refereed article. Oh, hold on.
You can see it down there, John.
Yeah. There we go. Today, Environmental Research Letters published a refereed article titled Defining a Standard Metric for Electricity Savings. And it was authored by more than 50 of Art's friends and colleagues. We decided in defining the typical plant to focus on a coal plant, both because coal is so important to electricity generation throughout the world, but also because if we're to truly stabilize the climate, we'll need to retire hundreds, if not thousands, of coal plants. The average plant is defined as a 500 megawatt power plant operating at 70% capacity factor, which is comparable to the characteristics of plants around the world. Displacing one such plant for 1 year would save 3 billion kilowatt hours per year and avoid the emissions of 3 million metric tons of CO2. It's short, it's sweet, it's easy to remember. One of the fun things you can do with a unit is compare it to lots of other things. So to displace all 300 gigawatts of existing U.S. coal plants would require that we save 1,800 billion kilowatt hours, or 600 standard plants, every year for 50 years. This amount of savings, 30,000 standard coal plant years, also just happens to be about equal to the carbon savings needed for one Socolow stabilization wedge. So the proposed name for this new unit, the Rosenfeld, in keeping with the tradition among scientists of naming units in honor of the person most responsible for the discovery and widespread adoption of the underlying scientific principle in question, Dr. Arthur H. Rosenfeld. So before Chris Caldwell presents to Art a little plaque commemorating this unit, we want to ask for your help. So in this room are a vast number of leaders in the energy efficiency world. We would like you very much to download this article. We would like you, when you're doing these aggregate studies of potential electricity savings, to use this new unit, to make it more clear when people talk about avoided power plants, but also to honor Art. So Chris has this plaque here, and he's going to read from it, and then we'll present it to Art. Just to be clear, there's a little piece of coal in this lucite here.
One of the challenges in working on this project is, John said, you thought of the idea, you go find the coal. So I was pestering my local steam train operating company recently for piles of coal about this size. The plaque says, in honor of Arthur H. Rosenfeld, Ph.D., we hereby define 1 Rosenfeld as 3 billion kilowatt hours per year of electricity savings and 3 million metric tons per year of carbon dioxide emission savings, equal to the generation and emissions from a typical coal-fired power plant. This lump of coal represents 100 pico Rosenfelds, the amount of electricity saved by a compact fluorescent lamp every 7 hours. Defining a standard metric for electricity savings is the name of the article. It appears in Environmental Research Letters, and it's dated March 9, 2010. Congratulations, Art. We want to get a picture over here. Okay, whatever you'd like to say.
I guess so. What to say? I have mixed feelings about this. I'm speechless. But I guess I'm not so touched as the fact that Chris and John between them had the tenacity to go around and get 49 other names of people I've written papers with over the last 50 years. I guess it's about a name a year. That's a devotion which I'm awestruck with. This has been a wonderful day, and I think I'm just going to leave it as the fact that I do have one remark. But it's only about the English language. I had a professor at Chicago, a professor of physics and biology by the name of Bob Platt, and he used to say that there were 3 funny cases of words missing from the English language. Things can be bad and you're aghast, but there's no word called gassed. Things can be disgruntled, but there's no such word as gruntled. Things can be, you can be dismayed, but there's no such word as made. I think I'm just going to conclude this by saying gruntled has a nice sort of sound to it, and I'm very gruntled at the whole day. And I think I'll leave it at that. And thanks very much.
You're not off the hook yet. We got a few more people that want to say some things about it.